A very good morning to one and all. At the outset, I would like to begin with a short quote. Mental health is not a destination, but a process. It is about how you drive, not where you're going. Noam Schpanzer. A very good morning to one and all present here today. The Counseling Committee of SIES College Nerul, in association with the Aniket Foundation, welcomes you all to our webinar, Mending Minds, Shuruwat Nayi Subha ki. It is with immense pleasure that I, Bharti Venkat, welcome you all. And I would also like to welcome our eminent speaker of the day, veteran psychiatrist Dr. Harish Shetty, our respected principal madam, Dr. Koel Roy Chaudhary, our registrar sir, Mr. Murli Krishnan Nambiar, the convener of the committee, Dr. Priyadarshini Podar, the college councillor and co-convener, Ms. Purnima Sudarshan, the team and representatives of Aniket Foundation, an organization working towards mental health and well-being, the teachers and faculty of the college, parents, students, and all of our viewers who have joined us today on our live stream. A beautiful quote by Fred Rogers goes, "Anything that's human is mentionable, and anything that is mentionable can be more manageable." When we talk about our feelings, they become less overwhelming, less upsetting, and less scary. Our objective behind hosting this webinar today is to provide our audience with an interactive platform to have a healthy conversation on mental health with Dr. Shetty. We will be addressing the mundane affairs that cause a lot of stress on us and gain guidance from Dr. Shetty today. A wise person once said, "Where words fail, music speaks." So, to begin on a fresh and pleasant note, I now invite the nightingale of our college and the managing committee head, Ms. Nymphia Chatterjee, to treat us to a melodious song.
Hello and very good morning to everyone. My name is Nymphia Chatterjee and I would like to present a little song for you. I hope you like it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nymphia. Your song has truly set a wonderful note to our webinar today. Now, I would like to call upon our respected Principal Madam, Dr. Koel Roy Chaudhary, to kindly address our audience and say a few words.
Good morning to all. I like to take this opportunity to welcome our renowned speaker, Dr. Harish Shetty. It is always a pleasure for us to host him. This is, in fact, the second time that our college will be hosting it. Once he has come to our college, and this is the work. I also want to take this opportunity to welcome all our students, our parents, and all the other viewers who have joined in to listen to him. Lockdown and the COVID that we are experiencing have thrown up many challenges. There has been so much of discussion on the health aspect, on the economic aspect. But I think it is now the time to talk about the mental aspect of it. How COVID is having an impact on all our mental health and the stress that each of us are undergoing and the sense of isolation that when I speak to my students, they tell me, ma'am, we feel isolated. And that is something that we will have to deal with. So I'll not take too much of your time and leave this stage open for Dr. Harish Shetty to take over. Thank you. And I'm sure it's going to be a pleasant morning, listening to him. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, ma'am, for your kind words. Now, to introduce our esteemed guest and keynote speaker, I call upon my teammate Payoja.
Thank you, Bharti. Emotional pain is not something that should be hidden away and never spoken about. There is truth in your pain. There is growth in your pain, but only if it's brought out into the open. Quoted by Stephen Atchison. And on that note, I introduce to you the renowned psychiatrist, Dr. Harish Shetty, to speak on this webinar. Dr. Shetty is a practicing psychiatrist and has worked in the areas of yoga and mental health under the illustrious Professor Dr. N.S. Vahia for 12 years. He has been actively working in the area of mental health and suicide prevention, conducting numerous workshops and sessions for students, parents, and teachers. He has aided in championing the rights of children across all his life. He has been a professor at the Tata Institute of Social Sciences for a decade and is also the visiting faculty in many universities. Dr. Shetty has worked with the victims of the Marathwada earthquake, Kandla cyclone, and Gujarat riots. He is the founder of Maitri, an organization that is aimed at working with and working for the families of individuals with mental illness. He is also the national president of My Home India, an NGO that aims at integrating the rest of the India to the Northeast. We take immense pleasure in having such a wonderful personality amongst us today to share some light on mental well-being. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us today. The stage is all yours.
So I would like to start by saying that please don't complicate your life, my dear children. And when you see on the screen, teachers little by little, it's so difficult to learn, it's so difficult to listen. And sometimes some teachers want you to own the video, not knowing that you don't have enough Wi-Fi, not knowing that you're not very comfortable to show your home background to the teachers. And when you do that, remember, kaise bhi teacher ho, mine gold from every conversation. Mine gold from every conversation, which is so important, which means kitna bhi pakati ho. सुनने का, कान लगा के सुनने का. Now, so when anybody teaches you, do not have any bias against the teacher. वो मुझे नहीं अच्छा लगता, ये मुझे नहीं अच्छी लगती, इसको कुछ आता नहीं. No यार, any teacher who has taught for a few years can teach you something new. And when you don't understand, don't mutter under your breath. गालियां मत देना, गालियां मत देना, गालियां मत देना. और कुछ नहीं आता है तो हाथ ऊपर करना. And when you ask your difficulty, that is power. A child, a student who is able to raise his hands and ask his or her difficulty, I would say she's the most powerful student in the class. Which means what? Which means he or she is not ashamed at all. कोई शर्म नहीं आता तो पूछने का बाप, क्यों चुप रहने का? And when you ask a difficulty, there are 3 or 4 things which come in our mind. लोग हंसेंगे, लोग हमारी मस्करी करेंगे, लोग कहेंगे कि इसे कुछ आता नहीं है. और ऐसे समय पर ऐसे विचार आते होंगे तो हटा देना. क्योंकि if you kill shame, you will get a name. If you kill shame, you can also get fame, which means start right early in your life to kill shame and actually ask your difficulty. Now, when you do that, you may not get a favorable answer from your teacher because teachers are like mothers, they fight. Mothers fight, mothers blame, teachers fight, teachers blame. You are not paying attention in the class. You are not paying attention in the class. And how many times I've explained to you, you don't listen to me at all. And that is what your teachers might say. But that's perfectly all right. फिर भी हाथ ऊपर करना, कहना मेरा जो हड्डी है, स्कल है, वो बहुत जाड़ा है, घुसने में टाइम जाता है यार, मैम फिर से समझाओ ना. Very important, very important. Those who cannot open their Wi-Fi for different reasons, tell them I can't open my Wi-Fi because of different reasons. My mother is cooking, there's noise. I can't open I have to unmute, keep myself unmute. No shame at all. यार शर्म क्यों यार? जो आज रोडपति है कल करोड़पति होता है, आज जो करोड़पति है कल रोडपति भी हो सकता है. What you have, what wealth you have, how big your house is, how rich your father is not important at all, because you have come to the college to attain education. You have come to the college because education is power. My dear students, तुमसे रोटी छीन सकती है, गर्लफ्रेंड कोई छीन लेगा, बॉयफ्रेंड को छीन लेगा, तुम्हारी अमानत छीन सकते हैं लोग. They might steal your house, but one thing they cannot take from you is they can never snatch your knowledge. And knowledge is power. पर क्या है, कॉलेज के समय अपने शरीर में हार्मोन्स दौड़ते रहते हैं. हार्मोन्स इतने दौड़ते हैं, चला लगता है यार थोड़ा इश्क भी करे. I like him, I like her. और ये लाइक के झंझट में माँ कसम बोलता हूँ समय निकल जाता है, कॉलेज की उम्र निकल जाती है और तुम वहीं के वहीं रह जाते हो. सो लाइक में क्या होता है? अरे छोड़ दो यार, अभी क्या पढ़ना, अभी ऑनलाइन ही है, कॉपी करेंगे. अरे जो कॉपी करते हैं ना खुद की इज्जत नहीं करते हैं. याद रखना, जो कॉपी करते हैं खुद की इज्जत नहीं करते हैं. और जितने भी मार्क्स मिले ना उससे अच्छा नहीं लगता है. जब पंखा रात को घूमता है, रात को जब आप सोते हो तो अपने आप से आपको बहुत बहुत दुःख होता है. न्यूनगंड लागते त्या काळी आणि असं वाटते की मी काही ना काही चुकी केली. आणि यू नेवर रिस्पेक्ट योरसेल्फ. and when you don't respect yourself, how can you be happy? So my dear friends, बड़ा छकास अंग्रेजी बोला मैं स्टार्ट होने से पहले, पर आपको अंग्रेजी इतना आता नहीं क्या? इतना आता नहीं. इतने पढ़े लिखे नहीं. कोई गाना भी गाया बहुत जबरदस्त. हम अंग्रेजी के पंडित नहीं हैं और न तो अंग्रेजी के घर यहाँ कोई पंडिताइन है. सो व्हाट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट इज दैट पढ़ाई और पहलवानी की उम्र निकल गई तो गई. You have to focus on your studies because education is power. And as you do that, you'll say that I'm in love with this boy, love with this girl. I've fallen in love. Kaika fallen in love. If you fall in love, you fall in the ditch. Rise in love, यार. Rise in love. मार्क्स इंप्रूव होना चाहिए. प्यार में पढ़ाई अच्छा होना चाहिए. इश्क में मार्क्स अच्छा होना चाहिए. इश्क में पूरा टीचर जो समझाती है अंदर घुसना चाहिए. You should be able to concentrate everything, and you should be able to absorb in love, and that I think is very important in the college. Now, when you do that, I congratulate you for really facing those 2 years of lockdown and COVID and so on. बड़ा मुश्किल था यार. माँ बाप के सुनकर आप घर पे एकदम चिपक के बैठ गए. And you never went out. आपने लड़ाई की, but माँ बाप की सुनी. बहुत बड़ी बात है. बहुत बड़ी बात है. And also, my best wishes to all those who are recovering from COVID, who have recovered and are slowly recovering from COVID. And my condolences to all those who have lost their friends, acquaintances, and their family members. Deepest condolences, my dear brothers and sisters, my dear friends. कैसे बुलाऊं brothers and sisters की friends? और ऐसे करते करते कॉलेज में बोरवा होता है यार. ये कितने घंटे में बैठो. अब मैं टीचरों को बोलता हूँ यार, पावर पॉइंट लेके मत बैठो. पावर पॉइंट लेके मरेले मुर्दे जैसे सिखाना नहीं. गिटार लाना क्लास में. Be a stand-up comedian or a clown, or be an animated teacher. In the class, the book has to be danced in the class. The page has to dance on the book. And the words have to dance on the page. And for that, you don't have to be a Vishwamitra. You don't have to be Socrates. You don't have to be Valmiki or any sage. You have to animate in the class. Economics can also be animated. Maths also can be animated. Physics also can be animated. हाँ, टीचरों को भी बहुत तकलीफ है क्या. घर में स्कूल है, ऑफिस है, रेस्टोरेंट भी है. वो टीचरों के बच्चे जो है ना, पल्लू पकड़ के बोलते हैं हमें कुछ खाने के लिए बनाओ. तुम सबको क्या सिखाते हो? बनाओ हमको कुछ खाने के लिए. और ऐसे करते टीचर भी थक जाते हैं. पर एक बात थकान हटाने का एक ही मेथड है, जबरदस्त सिखाना. बिकॉज कल मैं देखो ये शर्ट पहन के गया था एक कॉलेज में, और लोगों ने कहा तुम किधर आए हो, पार्टी में आए हो या सिखाने आए हो. मैंने कहा सिखाना भी एक पार्टी है मेरे लिए. Conversation is a party, a talk is a party for me. There's no difference for me between party and teaching, because I enjoy teaching. Teachers, I know it's difficult. You have, it's tough. Sometimes in some colleges, there are pay cuts also. And you have to really transform yourself into somebody else, because you're not standing live in the classroom. But upay kya hai? Winston Churchill said, never waste a disaster. Never waste a disaster. Kuch na kuch naya karo. Disaster is an opportunity to be very creative. So my dear teachers, गाना गाओ, गिटार बजाओ, ड्रामा करो, और उसके साथ अपना कंटेंट को बच्चों के जहन में उतारो. अभी यहाँ कुछ लोग कहेंगे हिंदी मत बोलो, हम साउथ के हैं, हमें हिंदी नहीं अच्छी आती है. सीखो यार, सीखो. What is very important for all students is to gather as much wisdom from any conversation. And what is important for every teacher is to forget that she is a teacher or a B.Ed or an M.Ed or a PhD fellow. She has to be there in shining yellow. And as you listen, my dear students, तुम्हारी में भी घर में तकलीफ होगी, माँ बाप मच करेंगे. My God, real मच करेंगे यार. अभी in COVID, you know what? Everybody is very stressed. Everybody is very tense. Everybody is very irritable. Which means what? There were 3 fears when we started in 2020. One is, will we get infected? Will we actually die? And what will happen to me in the future? Many of your family members would have salary cuts, would have financial problems, would have had business problems, and even staying alone inside the house. can cause a lot of bad moods. Staying alone, not moving out, not seeing the sunshine, not seeing the lovely moon, not watching the birds, not watering the plants, not walking on the grass, not climbing trees. It's actually very difficult. और ऐसे समय पर कैसे अपने को मजबूत रखना और मानसिक मानसिक दृष्टिकोन से चांगलं ठेवायचं म्हणजे कसं करायचं हे तुमच्या हातात आहे. आई बाबा जेव्हा भडकतात तब आपको गुस्सा नहीं होना. ये मत सोचना मॉम यू आर नॉट अंडरस्टैंडिंग मी एट ऑल. This is the time, my dear students, to understand your parents. And when your mother is angry, go and hug your mother. Say, you look very pretty when you are angry. Don't go and sleep flat on the bed on your stomach and say, nobody understands me. This is the time, my dear students, that you have to understand your parents. You're also counselor to your parents. And while you do this, sometimes your parents might come home and say, actually, I've lost my job. I've not got my salary. And some of the parents will hide from you because they feel that if they actually tell the truth, you might get very upset. When they actually tell you the truth, you might lose your confidence. That's not true at all. The parents who hide the truth, children know, because children can smell and feel the change in mood, the change in body language. कुछ तो गड़बड़ है. और ऐसे समय पर what is very important to tell your बापू कि बता दो यार, share your worries with us. We'll sit down and listen to it. When people share their worries in the family, they get support. But people, when they isolate themselves, they get into trouble. And that, I think, is so important. And when the father comes and sits and says, and there's different types of sharing. No? There is anxious sharing. पता है मेरा जॉब चला गया, मैं क्या करूं? There's helpless sharing. जॉब चला गया, अभी कुछ नहीं हो सकता है. But there is empowered sharing, and that is when the father comes and says, जॉब चला गया है, पैसे कम है, पर हम सब मिलके साथ में कुछ न कुछ करेंगे. That's known as empowered sharing. And if they are not empowered to share, and if they're anxious and helpless, you convert it and tell them honestly, that actually, Dad, let us join together and think how we can work this situation together. And when you work this situation together, and when there's empowered sharing, ऐसे हाँ जॉब चला गया पर हम सब मिलके कुछ न कुछ करेंगे. ये शेयरिंग होने से हिम्मत बढ़ती है, और हिम्मत बढ़ती है तो मानसिक स्वास्थ्य अच्छा होता है. आप छुपाओगे तो डूब जाओगे. And remember one thing, my dear friends, what is very important, what is very, very important is locked minds might create a lot of problems. Locked minds might create a lot of issues. And I would like the organizers to show that slide. Locked minds are time bombs. The next one, diffuse it early so that it does not explode inside you. And this is something very important. So sharing is so important. Now let me tell you the difference between a pandemic and a disaster. And as they change the slide to the 6 differences, and they change the slide from here to the 6 differences. Look at these differences. This entire disaster has been about science. It's not been about God. आफत आती है तो लोग कहते हैं ऊपर वाले के हाथ में. ऊपर वाले के हाथ में है, अपने हाथ में कुछ नहीं. ये डिजास्टर ऊपर वाले का नहीं, नीचे वाले का है. बिकॉज ऊपर वाले ने कोविड वायरस नहीं दिया था, वुहान लैब से निकला वो वायरस, या वो चाइना की वेट मार्केट से निकला, पता नहीं. और साइंस के लोगों ने कहा कि मंदिर मस्जिद बंद करो, गणपति पण हळू सादर करा. ईद को भी हमने कहा था धीरे से मनाओ, इकट्ठा मत हो जाओ. नवरात्रि को भी दूर से रहो, दूर से नाचो, नजदीक मत आओ. पलटवार करेगा कोविड वायरस, गया नहीं है, अभी भी है. इट्स ऑल अबाउट साइंस. नंबर 2, it has a long impact phase. In the sense, in any disaster, there's an impact phase. Earthquake में आया, भूकंप आया, चला गया. उसके बाद यदि बाढ़ आई और चली गई. पर इसमें 19 महीने से ये वार कर रहा है और अभी आपको लगता है गया नहीं पलट वार करेगा, संभालो। गणपति के समय, नवरात्र के समय, गया हुआ ईद के समय, कोई भी त्योहार हो, त्योहार में भी पास में ना आओ। याद रखो तुम्हारे मास्कवा को याद रखो, हाथ में साबुन को याद रखो, और दूरी मेंटेन करना। और ऐसे करते करते इश्क, नहीं यार 2 साल से मिस यू मिस यू मिस यू मिस यू करते थक गया, मुझे मिलना है। एक बात ध्यान रखना, गर्लफ्रेंड और बॉयफ्रेंड तो मिलते हैं, 10 प्रपोज किया तो एक चिपकता है, एक चिपकती है, आ जाते हैं, हाँ बोल देते हैं। बट द पॉइंट इज, ब्रेकअप तो 100% है। 2-3 ब्रेकअप तो 23-22 साल के अंदर हो जाता है। 100%, ये तो वरदान है ऊपर वाले का। But what is more important, it's easy to get a boyfriend or girlfriend, it's very difficult to get friends. Extremely difficult to get friends. तो इस समय दोस्तों को याद करना, इसका मतलब है आपके दोस्त के घर में यदि मृत्यु हुई तो उसका साथ देना, उसके साथ बात करना, उसको कहना कॉलेज के क्लास में आ जाओ, हम तुम्हारे असाइनमेंट करेंगे, हम तुम्हें हेल्प करेंगे, हम तुम्हें नोट्स देंगे। और ऐसे करते करते एक दूसरे के साथ दोगे तो ये दोस्ती जो है ना 50-30-40 साल तक भी रहेगी। 30-40 साल तक ये दोस्ती रहेगी व्हाट्सएप में, तब तक व्हाट्सएप तो जाएगा, कुछ नहीं आएगा। और ये दोस्ती से मानसिक स्वास्थ्य अच्छा रहता है। पूरे विश्व में रिसर्च किए हैं कि इस समय, इस युग में, हाउ मेंटेन मेंटल हेल्थ, एंड दे केम अप विद 2 important things. One is perception of safety. Extremely important to have perception of safety. And the second thing is social support. And as you look at all this, sometimes it might so happen that you get very, very angry. And as the organizers change the slide, and you might get angry. And it's so important to be aware of your feelings. And when you're aware of your feelings, you might feel scared. And that is the next slide. And when you feel scared, because you are scared that जिंदगी आगे कैसे चलेगी, पढ़ाई आगे कैसा होगा, मुझे मास्टर्स करने का था, बाहर जाके कैसे होगा, ये बहुत सारे विचार आएंगे। और साथ साथ में आसपास में लोगों की मृत्यु हुई, अस्पताल चले गए तो भी डर लगेगा। And when you're very scared, remember, it so happens sometimes that emotions can actually undergo chemical reactions. Fear can get converted into anger and irritability. Fear can get converted into anger and irritability. Fear can also get converted into sadness. Because fear can get converted into anxiety. And fear can also get converted into helplessness. तो जब डर लगता है ना, डर लगता है, किसी को भी डर लग सकता है। मुझे भी नया में अस्पताल में जाना बहुत डर लगता था। और उस समय मैं क्या करता था, मैं आपको बताता हूँ। So when you're scared about the virus, tell yourself 3 things. I will wear the mask when I go out anywhere. I will see to it that I keep myself clean, and I will tell myself that I'll maintain my distance. I will not play around with my life. And also, what is very important to understand is 85% of patients improved in quarantine. 95% of patients went home. And so majority of us have improved. And that, I think, is so important. So important. And as you travel outside for anything, do not do hi-fi. Do not do all those things, and see to it that you come back. But sometimes fear can cause numbness, which means स्तब्ध हो जाना, एकदम नम हो जाना कि मुझे कोई एहसास नहीं है। बाजू वाले घर में मृत्यु हुई पर मुझे फोन करके कहने की इच्छा ही नहीं होती है। मुझे ये झंझट में नहीं पड़ता है। मुझे डर लगता है, मैं अपनी फियर्स को ब्लॉक करता हूँ। जब आप ब्लॉक करते हो तो नम हो जाते हो, और उसके साथ साथ आप धीरे से अपने करुणा का भी एहसास नहीं कर सकते हो। आप उनसे बात भी नहीं करोगे, और उससे तकलीफ भी बहुत पड़ेगा। और ऐसे करते करते डर से बहुत तकलीफ भी होती है। यदि डर का एहसास है तो अच्छा है, और डर डर आपने बांटा तो डर कम हो जाता है। नेगेटिव इंटू नेगेटिव is positive. So two people who are scared of the virus or scared of exams, when they share, minus into minus is plus, and then and you feel nice and you feel positive. If you don't share, if you don't share and hold it, because so many boys and girls feel their strong minds. हमारे घर में किसी को कोई डर नहीं लगता क्या? हम तो राजपूत है, हम तो मराठा है, हम तो शेट्टी है, हम तो ऐसे है, वैसे है, गहरा है, जो भी है। डर को स्वीकार करने से डर कम होता है। Hug your fears, decrease your anxiety, hug your fears and feel much better. And that when you actually do that, also when you actually do that, what happens also is that when you actually do that, it so happens that at times you might feel that you have really not been aware of your fears. You are also getting very angry, because when you block your fears you can become numb. If you block your fears you can also become anxious, but when you block your fears you can also get very angry. And as I see my full face on my screen, and what sadness is also a very positive emotion. Sadness is very normal. And also remember, sadness is a positive emotion, depression is a negative state. And when you look at all this, and as my dear friends, the organizers, remove the slides from the screen, I would also like to say that those who block sadness are in trouble, because sadness is the flower pot, empathy is the plant. You need to feel sad to have empathy. You need to have equanimity, samantha, emotional regulation to feel empathy. You need to be absolutely at peace also to feel empathy. And don't block your sadness also. So when you actually offer condolences very genuinely, your mood improves, because what is very important is when you're connected with the cosmos, when you're connected with the human race, when you're connected to the people, your actual mood improves. But as you study across this time, also what happens, which is extremely important, is that your parents might say and use a lot of words. I still remember this family who were very irritable among each other. And when they were very irritable among each other, they actually the boy who was in the house said, "I don't want to stay with you. I want to go and stay with my auntie." And when he said that, the parents said, "Jao," and he actually left. When he went to his auntie's place, he started thinking. And you need to think why your parents are angry. And at times, when you think about it, you understand that there are small reasons for your parents to get angry. One is lack of movement causes bad mental health. Movement improves mental health. And your father, who had been on the who has been walking for a long time, every day, half an hour, 1 hour, stop his walking. Your father, who has been talking to his close relatives and friends, and has been attending office, and has been working in a cubicle in the office, is online. He's very irritable. Your mother, who has been going down and meeting friends, meeting also her office goers if she's working, and that human contact, when it's lost, you actually get very irritable. So what to do? And what is very important is, don't blame them when they're irritable. Slowly tell them, बापू, अपन दोनों साथ में थोड़ा वॉकिंग करेंगे क्या? घर के अंदर करेंगे, बाहर नहीं कर सकते हैं तो क्या फर्क पड़ता है यार? Even if you have a small house, 10 by 10, you can walk up and down, up and down. That's exercise. And if you have a small house, only 10 by 10, you can put a chair and go round. You can do Surya Namaskar. You can do skipping, even in a small house. And what is so important at this point of time is movement improves mood. Exercise dissolves tears and fears. And when exercise dissolves fears and tears, your mood actually improves. So one is that they need to actually go up and down the family and do something, and do one thing. When you're exercising, whatever, don't be ritualistic. If you're ritualistic, your exercise has no meaning. मुझे 5 किलोमीटर चलना ही है, 10 किलोमीटर चलना है, नहीं चला तो मुझे तकलीफ होगा, सामने कोई आया तो उसे हाई भी नहीं बोलेंगे, अरे यार आस्ते आस्ते एक्सरसाइज करो. जॉयस एक्सरसाइज improves mood. Ritualistic exercise increases anxiety. Also, what is very important in your family to remain healthy is conversation. And conversation, which means converse with people who are not whining. अरे क्या हो रहा है रे, अभी क्या होगा रे, थर्ड वेव आएगा क्या, ऐसे लोगों से बात मत करना. Or those people who are research experts in COVID. I know what's going to happen in USA, in Florida. There's no oxygen. India में भी ऐसे ही होगा. And those research experts, we don't need them. We don't talk to them at all. Talk to them who are like you. Talk to those who are like you, those who actually say, यार अच्छा लगता है पर कल मुझे थोड़ा थोड़ा डर लगा, यार माझी फाटली काल 1-2 तास नंतर मी ठीक झालो. And these are the people we need to actually talk to, and do not talk to all those who whine, all those who share information about the virus, all those who support and all those who help you are those. Now when I say conversation, I also mean conversation with those people with whom you have a rapport, safe space. मैं कुछ भी कह सकता हूँ. I can be emotionally nude with them. There's no issue at all. मैं खुल के बात कर सकता हूँ. ऐसे लोगों के साथ बात करना बहुत अच्छा है. साथ साथ में रूटीन रखना घर के अंदर. हाँ, आप कहोगे काय का रूटीन, ये टीचर लोग पकाते हैं मुझे 3-4 घंटा 5-6 घंटा, कॉलेज स्टार्ट हुआ है, टेस्ट लेते हैं, एग्जाम लेते हैं, काय का रूटीन है. रूटीन रखो यार. और रूटीन में मैंने ऐसे कहा ना, तो रूटीन में फ्रेमवर्क होना चाहिए. फ्रेमवर्क यानी खाने का टाइम, एक्सरसाइज का टाइम और सोने का टाइम, ये सब ठीक होना चाहिए. क्या कहने का तात्पर्य ऐसा है कि घर में कोई सुबह एक्सरसाइज करता है, शाम को एक्सरसाइज करता है, उसमें कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. Some of us might have a bath early in the morning. Some of us might have a bath after breakfast. Perfectly all right. Routine does not mean a regimented army routine. So conversation and create a routine are two nice things to do. Also, what is very important is celebrate what you have. And then your mental health is much better. Which means what? Which means whatever falls on the plate, you should be happy about. Salary cut hai, रोज पिज्जा नहीं खा सकते हैं. Yeah, I'm grateful to what I have, which means whatever I have. I still remember across the last 2 years, we could not eat the best food which we actually liked and which we could afford. But whatever fell on the plate, we were so happy. We felt so nice. We thanked God and thanked our parents. When you thank God and thank your parents and you're grateful, you're good. But you say, ऐसा क्यों हो गया, कोविड अभी क्यों आया, साला 2 साल पहले आने का था, यानी 2 साल बाद में नहीं, आप भी अपनी वाट क्यों लगाया कोविड, 10 साल बाद में आना चाहिए था. अपने टाइम पे क्यों आया. मेरा 12th है, मेरे को बहुत कुछ करना है, मेरे को सीए करना है, मेरे को सीपीटी एंट्रेंस साला वो देना था, मेरा नीट, मेरा जेई, यार मेरा सब पक गया मेरा. नहीं यार, जो बार बार अपने को दोष देते हैं उसको हम ब्लेमर्स बोलते हैं. जो समय के अनुसार चलते हैं उसको हम ब्लूमर्स बोलते हैं. तो आर यू अ ब्लूमर और अ ब्लेमर? Do you want to be doomed or do you want to boom? Depends upon how you apply your mind. हाँ, sometimes it so happens. मैंने पूरी पढ़ाई की, 10th के एग्जाम दे नहीं पाया. I studied everything, but I could not give the exam. I could not go to the war and score marks. I got the marks from the average of so many years. It looks so boring. It looks really boring. And you feel very upset, but don't blame yourself because whatever dreams you have in your mind, it may be postponed. It may be delayed. It may be suspended, but protect your dream of your future, preserve your dream and believe that you are going to do something very big in the future. अब हम छुपे हुए हैं. We are hiding in the bunker, not from life, but from the virus. My dear friends, as you do that, some of you may have got 90. कितने मार्क्स मिलते हैं तुम लोगों को यार. हमारे समय पे कंजूसी थी, 65 मिला तो भी तुम एमबीबीएस में जा सकते थे. अभी भरपूर मार्क्स, और जिनको 95 मिला है कॉलर टाइट and they feel they actually are going to do everything in life. No, 10th and 12th 95 does not mean that you're a hero. There's a long way ahead till the 10th or the 12th. It's not application. It is just rote memory. No application of physics, chemistry, and science. The application starts in engineering, medicine, and other courses, biomedics, and an application starts in subjects of commerce after 12th. So what you got in 10th and 12th makes no sense. Don't be happy. No harm at all. 95 मिला इसका मतलब तुम हीरो नहीं हो, और 55 मिलो तो तुम जीरो नहीं हो, क्योंकि none of those studies can test all your abilities, can test all your abilities. So impossible. It's not essential. It's not essential for you to actually believe that this is very, very important. And when I say this, again, 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 what is also very important is that you need to really work hard. Just because you say you've got 55, you're happy with 55 throughout your life. No, you need to work hard, because when you work hard, your mental health improves. When you are honest to yourself, your mental health improves. And when you try to do as much good to yourself, mental health actually improves. But as we do all this, as I said, parents do get angry, they become irritable. Excess can improve their actual irritability. Being connected improves their actual irritability, and being in touch with friends and family improves their irritability. But sometimes, in spite of all that, irritability does not improve at all. It still remains. In spite of exercise, you are irritable. In spite of good food, you're irritable. In spite of your hemoglobin being normal and everything being normal, you're still irritable. That means what? That means there's something wrong happening inside your body. In your families, in your families, in your families, please, please be in contact with your family doctor. Look at the blood pressure, look at the sugar levels of your parents, look at the hemoglobin levels of your parents, look at your thyroid levels if there's something wrong, look at the vitamin levels. And there are some teachers on the chat telling me, बच्चों को हाथ धोने को बोलो, बच्चों ये करने को बोलो. अरे मैं तुम्हारा एजेंट हूँ क्या? मुझे जो बोलना मैं बोलूंगा. सरकार पिक्चर में अमिताभ बच्चन ने क्या, मुझे जो ठीक लगता है वो मैं बोलूंगा. एंड मुझे मैं तुम्हारे एजेंट नहीं हूँ. आप जो कहेंगे मैं उनको बताऊं. अरे बच्चे अच्छे हैं, वो हाथ धोएंगे, इतना टेंशन मत लो यार. बच्चे, आजकल के बच्चे बहुत अच्छे हैं, सुनते हैं, हिम्मत है उनमें, और लड़ाई के सामने टक्कर देने का भी ताकत है उनमें. सो माय डियर फ्रेंड्स, as you also take care of the health of the family, sometimes there are other issues also, and some of the issues are, कुछ भी करो तो मार्क्स नहीं मिलती है. टीचर अपने से सबसे अच्छे से बात करते हैं, मुझसे अच्छे से बात नहीं करते. कुछ भी करो तो ये सब्जेक्ट में मेरे को मार्क्स ही नहीं मिलते, मैं क्या करूं. ट्यूशन लेता हूं, टीचर के पास जाए, घुसता इतने माँ कसम, क्या करना कुछ समझ में नहीं आता है. एंड दैट्स द टाइम व्हेन यू हैव टू गो टू द टीचर एंड से, मुझे इस सब्जेक्ट में कितना भी पढ़ूं तो मुझे आता नहीं है, मैं क्या करूं. और टीचर तब तुम्हें बताएगी, पढ़ने का स्टाइल चेंज करो, सामने पुस्तक करके कॉन्सेप्ट समझने का जरा सोचो. मैं तुम्हें बैठ के मैं समझाऊंगा, ये इसको ऐसा पढ़ना चाहिए, इसके कॉन्सेप्ट क्या, माइंड मैप करो. अलग अलग मेथड्स आपको टीचर्स बताएंगे. टीचर से दोस्ती करो यार. मेरे पास गाड़ी है, बंगला है, क्लिनिक है, अस्पताल है, और सब कुछ है, और गांव में खेती भी है. तुम्हारे पास क्या है? माँ है. टीचर तुम्हारी दूसरी माँ है. So sometimes it's so important for you to really get back at your teacher and get things done. Now sometimes you'll find that teachers don't talk to you, or you are so ashamed to talk to a teacher. मैं कहता हूँ कॉलेज और स्कूल एक लेबोरेटरी है जहाँ पर्सनैलिटी डेवलपमेंट होती है. College or school is a lab where you grow to be men and women. It's not only that you acquire only knowledge. So what to do? If you find a teacher away from you, if you find a teacher very scared, and you're very scared to talk to, because बहुत कड़क टीचर है. अरे कड़क टीचर भी अंदर से नरम होती है, शुगर केन जैसा होता है, बहुत मीठी होती है. जाके सीधा बोलो, देखो मैम, मैं जब तुमसे बात करता हूँ तो मुझे 1 मिनट में कटाती हो, पर वो जब तुमसे बात करते हो तुम 15 मिनट में हंस के सब एक्सप्लेन करते हो. मुझे आज भी याद है मेरे बच्चे के ओपन हाउस में मैंने यही कहा था. कुछ बच्चों के साथ टीचर 5 मिनट ही बात करते हैं, 2 मिनट ही बात करते हैं, कुछ बच्चों के साथ 15 मिनट बात करते हैं. क्यों? उन्हें पता नहीं क्या करना है. इसीलिए कन्फ्रंट योर टीचर समटाइम्स existentially and with a lot of affection and love. And that means, man, you should also spend time with me. I feel you are very partial. You should spend time. And when I come and talk to you, talk only for 2 minutes. Why do you do that? Don't do that. Yeah, don't do that. And teachers actually don't do that. I mean, they're not aware of that. And when you point out to them, they will say, actually, it's not true. I mean, I've got nothing against you. I'm not for anybody. Please come back again and I'll talk to you. And that is how you build your bond with your teachers. Your existential dialogue with your teachers is so, so important. And teachers should also realize that they're emotionally equitable in the classroom, which means what? Test yourself sometimes and find out in the class who are the people who always put their hands up and who are the people who actually are quiet. People who are quiet may not be those who do not know anything. People who are quiet may be those who are a little anxious, a little shy. And in your classroom, if you're able to actually get those people to talk and respectfully respond to them. Remember, I said that to my son's teacher once, that please take care of him. He's a little shy. And every day she would say, Amog, I'm asking you a question. Amog, I'm asking you a question. ऐसा नहीं, ऐसे मत करो यार. Very subtly, very slowly. जगाओ उन बच्चों को जिनको शर्म आती है. जगाओ उन बच्चों को जिन्हें बहुत बहुत डर लगता है. स्क्रीन में भी जगाने में कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. पर ऐसे करते करते टीचर बेचारी थक जाती है. मैंने कहा ना, मुझे किसी ने पूछा एक शर्ट क्यों पहने, मैंने कहा मुझे पार्टी और लेक्चर में कोई फर्क नहीं पता चलता. एंड ऑल्सो माय डियर टीचर्स एंड ऑल्सो माय डियर स्टूडेंट्स, mothers and teachers are those who are never acknowledged as much as they should. In the country runs because of mothers, teachers, and constables. That's my funda. So, my dear teachers, you need to also understand that you are not God. You are human being. And my dear students, you need to also understand that your mothers are not gods. Even if they're working, they behave as if they're super gods. सब कुछ कर सकते हैं, बच्चों को भी संभाल सकते हैं, पति को भी संभाल सकते हैं, ऑफिस भी संभाल सकते हैं और सब कुछ कर सकते हैं, खाना भी बना सकते हैं. ऐसा क्यों यार? और टीचर्स ऑल्सो, ये सब जो टीचर्स है ना, स्पेशली द लेडी टीचर्स, डोंट थिंक यूर गॉड. सुबह मैं बच्चे के लिए खाना पकाऊंगा, फिर ऑनलाइन बैठूंगा, फिर शाम को खाना पकाऊंगा. काय को यार, काय को? अपने त्याग के घोड़े से उतर जाओ, अपने जिंदगी की दोनों मोमबत्ती दोनों बाजू से मत जला. डोंट कंज्यूम योरसेल्फ व्हेन यू एजुकेट अदर्स, सर्वाइव व्हेन यू एजुकेट अदर्स. व्हिच मींस व्हाट? व्हिच मींस hey teachers and hey mothers of all the lovely students, do you want to become a martyr or a manager? Martyr or a manager? If you want to become a martyr, you will consume yourself and you will exhaust yourself and you will go. But if you become a manager, you will be able to get work done from others in the family as well and see to it that the family runs very well. Which means what? Which means those teachers who want to be perfect teachers and perfect mothers with a perfect kitchen and a perfect house will be the most unhappiest people on the earth. And those students whose mothers want the house to be spick and span in a display mode, not in living mode, they'll be very unhappy. Imperfect home is a happy home. Imperfect mothers are happy wives. Imperfect wives have happy marriages. So do not be perfect all the time. Let the kitchen, अरे यार मैंने अपने बेटे को कहा कुछ खाना बनाने को तो उसने पूरा पसारा कर दिया. अरे पसारा किया तो क्या, किचन में तो गया. And those students who work in the families, who support household work, they are much calmer than those who only brag about what they are and who they are. Students who support their parents in household work remain much calmer, much healthier. Students who actually are involved in the joy of giving, doing something for somebody else, are much calmer and much healthier. My dear students, remember, mind is not made of iron and steel. It's made of neurons. And if you nourish your neurons, your mental health remains very good. You have to nourish your neurons. Do what you like is best for you. Choose your mood enhancers and mood lifters. Some people love to actually sing. Some people love to draw. Some people love to dance. और यदि डांस फ्लोर नहीं है अभी तो रूम बंद करके म्यूजिक लगा के नाचो यार. जी भर के नाचो. लोग क्या कहेंगे? काय को? Why are you worried about people thoughts? speak about you. If you feel dance helps your mood, do it. And you feel तुम्हारे घर छोटे तो सबके सामने नाचो. माँ चिल्लाएगी तो कोई बात नहीं, बट माँ जब भी तुम्हारी हंसती हुई चेहरा देखेगी ना, माँ को लगेगा ये जो कुछ करती है सही करती है. So do what you like. Your mood enhancers, your mood lifters. It does not trouble others. It's so important. So mental health, man, mental health handle करना बहुत बड़ी बात नहीं, छोटी छोटी बात है बापू, छोटी छोटी बात है. और ऐसे करते मुझे अमेरिकन नेवी के बारे में कुछ कहना है. अमेरिकन नेवी जो है ना, अपने पूरे नेवी के सोल्जर्स को बताया, जहाजों में पत्ते मत खेलो, दारू मत पियो, बट योग करो, योग. अंग्रेजों ने उसे योगा कर दिया है. योग करो. अब इधर एक भाई मुकेश सुरवे अब मुझे एडवाइस कर रहा है, डॉक्टर प्लीज एडवाइस हाउ टू डील स्क्रीन टाइम ऑफ मोबाइल और लैपटॉप. ये बंद करो यार, मुझे एडवाइस देना, आराम से सुनो. ऑल टीचर्स कम से कम सुनो, मुझे राय देने की कोशिश मत करो. हाँ, समझे? तो व्हाट इज सो इम्पोर्टेंट ऑल्सो इज दैट when you actually are inside the house, and American Navy, when it says that they should do yoga, it is very important for us to understand that yoga is not a retirement activity plan. Yoga is actually an activity from the age of 3 to the age of whatever. It actually helps enhance mood, and there are multiple millions of studies which say if you guys do yoga, your actual memory will improve. If you stay away from the screens like what Mr. Mukesh says, you will be able to really reflect and improve your memory. Yoga improves hippocampus, yoga improves the amygdaloid body, brings on aggression. Yoga also improves the prefrontal cortex, which actually helps you to be very decisive. So yoga करना चाहिए boss. And as I come to a close, my dear friends, teachers also, huh? Teachers भी बड़े WhatsApp में बैठे रहते हैं, रात को वीडियो देखते रहते हैं, इसने क्या बोला, उसने क्या बोला. Men generally watch videos of news, Afghanistan में क्या हो रहा है, and women largely do not see news only, but they see all other things, cooking, this, that. जितना ब्लू लाइट टीचर्सों के आंख में आएगा उतना नींदवा कम हो जाएगी. जितना ब्लू लाइट बच्चों के हाथ में आएंगे तो उनकी नींदवा कम हो जाएगी, स्लीप कम हो जाएगा. And my dear teachers, first of all, you stay away from the screens at night. So many teachers sleep at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, mobile. And so many students sleep at 3 a.m. and 4 a.m. My dear friends, I'm not asking you to leave your mobile, because I know that you're on the screen for 4 to 5 hours in a day and you have to do a lot of work on the screen. But I would just request you, my dear students, less of blue light, better the sleep. And after your class is over, you need to take a break for your eyes. Exercise helps you to break that blue light phenomenon on your eyes. Yoga, a little pranayama will help you to break that blue light in the eyes. And teachers, take care of yourself. मैंने कहा ना, क्या के घोड़े से उतर जाओ, रात को सो जाओ, कभी कभी स्ट्राइक पे जाओ, खाना बनाने की जरूरत नहीं. एक चाय केला खाओ, सुबह पाव केला खाओ. Not essential to be perfect in the kitchen and cook everything for everybody. No. Screens and sleep are related. If you're able to sleep for 7 to 8 hours during night time, your brain will work very beautifully. Bheja se panga mat lo. Brain will work very beautifully. It will also manage all the organs perfectly. The synchrony between the organs will be good. Umar badegi. And if you play around with your screens for a long time, remember one thing, your life longevity will go down. Their effectiveness will go down. People who had disease at the age of 60, 65, 20 years back will have disease at the age of 35, 40. Remember, the actor who died, there's a doctor who died in the gym. There are two doctors who died of heart attacks recently. Only probably, I do not know why, probably because the synchrony of the body was lost. My Shraddhanjalis to their families. But the point is, younger people are dying only because most of them are sloppy, most of them eat wrong, and most of them exercise or over exercise, and many of them use a lot of proteins for building muscles. Remember, girls are not interested in the muscles, girls are interested more in how good you are, how nice you are, and how honest you are, and that I think is so important. अभी अभी ये कहाँ गया मुकेश भाई? कुछ और कुछ सुनाओ मेरे को। तुम्हारा पॉइंट तो मैंने ले लिया। अभी क्या है, ऑनलाइन एक दिन दो बंद होने वाला है। हम फिर से कॉलेज जाएंगे। अपना टाइम आएगा, हम कॉलेज जाएंगे, हंसेंगे, बात करेंगे, जोर से चिल्लाएंगे, झगड़ेंगे, फिर से मिलेंगे, फिर से बात करेंगे। टीचर्सों के साथ असाइनमेंट मांगते हो, झूठ भी बोलेंगे, ग्रैंड मदर बीमार है। ऐसे कुछ बच्चों ने 2-3 ग्रैंड मदर को मार भी डाला है जब असाइनमेंट सबमिट करते करते। टीचरों को इमोशनल बना भी दिया है। ये चलता रहता है जिंदगी में, पार्ट ऑफ लाइफ, पार्ट ऑफ फन। एक बात ध्यान रखना, दोस्ती बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, अच्छे दोस्त बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। ये एक दूसरे के साथ दे, एक दूसरे को संभाले। और कोविड के टाइम्स कैसा है ये पूछना भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। लाइन बनाओ, लिस्ट बनाओ अपने अपने सभी दोस्तों का, स्कूल के, कॉलेज के, जुने जो हम जिससे मिलते नहीं हैं, मिलते भी नहीं थे, बात करना भूल गए। एक छोटा सा झगड़ा हुआ, हमने बात करना भूल गए। उठाओ फोन, लगाओ नंबर और पूछो तुम कैसे हो। When the world is connected, the mental health is better. Disconnection causes emotional issues. एंड ये हमारी सुनीता अम्बोरी भी बहुत मुझे अभी लेक्चर दे रही है, इधर ऐसा बोलो, वैसा बोलो, ये बोलो, वो बोलो, ये वो। अरे यार क्या बोलना। अच्छे स्वास्थ्य का सिर्फ तीन ही मेथड्स है। एक तो कनेक्टेड रहना, दूसरा भावनाओं को स्वीकारना, समझना और उसको इसका एहसास करना, तीसरा अपना स्वास्थ्य के लिए हलचल करना। और ऐसे करते करते यदि सब ठीक रहा तो ठीक है, यदि उससे सब करते भी ठीक नहीं है तो याद रखना पत्रिका देखने की जरूरत नहीं है। अपने कॉलेज के काउंसलर्स को जाके मिलना, कोई वहाँ कंफर्ट कमेटी है या काउंसलिंग कमेटी है, खटखटाना दरवाजा। ये मत सोचना मैं वहां जाऊंगा तब कौन मुझे देख रहा है, हाथ ऊपर करके कहना मैं ठीक नहीं हूँ, मुझे बातचीत करने की जरूरत है। सीधा जाके पत्रिका नहीं, काउंसलर के पास जाना। और यदि आवश्यक है तो कभी कभी साइकियाट्रिस्ट के पास जाने की जरूरत पड़ेगी। काउंसलर कहेगी तुम्हें दुआ की नहीं, बातचीत की नहीं, तुम्हें दवा की जरूरत है, तो दवा लेने की भी जरूरत है। माय डियर फ्रेंड, इट्स सो इम्पोर्टेंट। समटाइम्स counseling may not dissolve the thoughts. Medicine may dissolve the thoughts, just like insulin can dissolve sugar in a diabetic. अब ये मुकेश भाई फिर से जग गए। धन्यवाद साहेब। काय म्हणता मुकेश राव? त्यांचं म्हणणं है कि the kids are so much attached to the mobile, it's like an organ of the body. कुछ बोलेंगे तो थोड़ा इरिटेशन फेस पर नजर आता है। इरिटेशन आया तो क्या हो गया, अपना ही बच्चा है यार। They cannot choose their parents. हमको उसे ठीक करना है। बातचीत करने का ढंग इंपॉर्टेंट मुकेश जी। एक तो छोटे में मेरे पास एक आए थे एक जनाब, वो कहने लगे मेरा 3 साल का बच्चा मोबाईल को छोड़ता हीच नाही। काय माणूस आहे तो। मी तो सांगितलं आता तुम घे आणि सांग जेव, खेळायला जाओ। 2 उंगली से जो खेलते हैं ना उनकी जिंदगी अच्छी नहीं रहती। हाथ पैर से खेलते हैं वो बुढ़ापे में काठी नहीं पकड़ते हैं। बड़े बच्चे जो हैं 10 साल 12 साल के, फर्मली बोलना इतना ही घंटा मोबाइल को हाथ लोगे, बाकी नहीं। वो चिल्लाएगा, चिल्लाने दो उसको। जितना ज्यादा चिल्लाएगा उतना जल्दी शांत भी हो जाएगा। बच्चों के चिल्लाने से डरना मत। बाजू वाले आएंगे तो क्या हो गया, कुछ शर्म नहीं उसमें, कोई शर्म नहीं। और यदि 15 से 20 साल के बच्चे ज्यादा मोबाइल यूज करते, ज्यादा का मतलब है पूरे 24 घंटा रूम में बंद करके, तो धीरे धीरे अपने कहानी सुनाना, बचपन की कहानी सुना दो। ये मत कहना मैं छोटा था, मैं गरीब था, ये थे, नहीं, छोटी छोटी कहानी सुनाना। उसे धीरे धीरे बात करते कहना थोड़ा कम करो, 15 मिनट कम करो, आधा आधा घंटा कम करो, यार हमारे साथ खाना खाने के लिए बैठो, हमारे साथ बात करो, यार हम वॉक के लिए जाएंगे साथ में। और उसमें से थोड़ा भी किया ना तो चलेगा। प्रवचन मत देना, आम्ही लहान असताना, गप्प बसा, गप्प बसा। आणि आप लोगों के मेहनत से यदि बच्चा नहीं सुनता है तो माँ कसम, जिसका कोई नहीं होता है उसका साइकोलॉजिस्ट होता है। और यदि आपको लगता है एक बार जाने के बाद साइकोलॉजिस्ट के पास कुछ नहीं होता है, नहीं यार, वो लंबा चलता है। बिहेवियर चेंज करने में बहुत समय जाता है। बुखार बुखार का इलाज करने में 2 दिन लगती है। टू चेंज बिहेवियर टेक्स अ लॉन्ग टाइम, टू ट्रीट फीवर टेक्स 2-3 days, सो हैव पेशेंस। ये फोन है ना, ये रावण नहीं है, टेक्नोलॉजी है। उसका तालमेल कैसे हो ना, वो करते करते थोड़ा टाइम लगता है। पर कुछ बच्चों को पढ़ाई नहीं अच्छी लगती है, कुछ बच्चों को माँ बाप से चक्कर है, माँ बाप झगड़ते रहते हैं, तो फोन पे, अरे यार सब भूल जाते हैं, फोन पे रहते हैं। So when they have difficult studies and difficult parents or difficult courses, they go back on the phone. So my dear friend, it's so important to understand there are multiple ways of handling phone addiction, and some ways are actually different ways will help different children. At the end, I would like to say, my dear girl students, याद रखना भाई, वो पढ़ाई क्या है, वो प्यार क्या है जिसे पढ़ाई का त्याग करना पड़े। You have to be in love with your studies first, boys also, but girls more so. Because in life, your first love is your studies. You're married twice. Marriage, husband is second, but padhai is first. And remember, my dear friends, do not get married before you stand on your feet. Do not get married till you have financial independence, and do not expect that you need to share all your passports about your banks to your husband. Never do that in life. Never do that in life. And it is so important for you all to understand that you need to stand up on your feet, come what may. And if you do not have a career, you are lost. And if your parents say नहीं इतनी पढ़ाई करो और ज़्यादा पढ़ाई करोगे तो चश्मा लगेगा, पढ़ा लिखा लड़का नहीं मिलेगा, कह देना उनको मुझे ये करना है, मुझे मास्टर्स करना है, मुझे पढ़ाई करना है, मुझे टीचर बनना है, मुझे साइकोलॉजिस्ट बनना है, मुझे मैथमेटिशियन बनना है, मुझे ये करना है, उसके पहले मैं शादी नहीं करूँगी। और जो लोगों को लगता है कि हम बहुत अलग है क्योंकि हमारे पास बॉयफ्रेंड या गर्लफ्रेंड है, मैं उन्हें यही बताना चाहता हूँ कि having a boyfriend or girlfriend is not about efficiency, and not having them is not about efficiency. First, be comfortable with yourself. Love yourself first before you love anybody else. Be comfortable with your body and your mind. Be comfortable with what you have. Respect your environment inside the house. Respect whatever your father, your mother does to you. Respect your teachers as much as you can. Jhagda hogi. You will fight sometimes occasionally. That is perfectly all right. Very perfectly all right. And all those South Indian intelligent people, South Indian families में 98 का 95 हुआ ना तो शिव 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 हो जाता है। NH और शेट्टी फैमिली में 55 का 50 होता है तो पार्टी देते हैं हम लोग। And what is so important to understand that mental health is important and studies will always follow. So in the COVID period, what is very important is preserve the mental health of yourself and your children, and they will get a big start later. You never know ever in your family. कभी बच्चे तुम्हारे जग जाएंगे. Believe, my dear parents who are listening to the show, believe that at some point of time your children will be awake. Awakening can happen any time of the day, any time of the year, any time of life. And for that to happen, what is so important is believe in your child completely. Do not criticize them all the time. तू क्या करेगा? शेण खाणार, काय करणार आयुष्यात? एवढं कॉम्पिटिशन आहे, त्याला बघ, ह्याला बघ. अहो, तुमचा मुलगा तुमचा कोखातून आलाय, तिच्या कोखातून नाही आलाय. असं बोलायचं नसतंय. So 3 things: believe in your child. You never know your child will get awakened. Always consider that your child is awesome. That does not mean that you accept all his behaviors, and always tell them that your exams are easy and you will do well. My dear friends, as I close, Panchamrut ko yaad rakhna. Harish Shetty ka Panchamrut. Exercise is a must for each one, for everybody. Either inside the house or maybe going down and going for a walk on the greens. Exercise dissolves tears, fears, and anger. It improves our resilience against COVID. It improves our immunity against COVID. Number two, yoga. 15 minutes of family yoga is so important. Number three, your diet, what you eat. Watch what you eat. Number four is what is very important is your sleep. And number five is kindness. And kindness improves immunity. Teach your children to work in the family, inside the house, and also be giving. You'll find that your kids are well rounded. What's the point in having a kid who stands first in the class, who gets a gold medal anywhere and everywhere, and then does not respect environment, animals, and his own parents? We don't need such children. And my dear parents, remember one thing what children need: emotional safety and security, which means कुछ भी होगा तो हम बच्चों के फेंकेंगे नहीं, उसको ठीक ठाक ठोक ठाक के उसको ठीक करेंगे. Number two is they need trust, they need respect, and the last is they need love. With this, I stop. I thank the principal of SIS College for that lovely introduction. I thank the young girls in the college probably, who sang and who also spoke very nice words and introduced me in so much detail. I'm not used to that. I thank Aniket Foundation, Sunita Ambore and her friends for helping this and facilitating this session. And I thank all the teachers of our lovely college, SIS. SIS has a great name. It's an institution which has really carved out so many students who are there across the globe, SIS Sign as well as SIS Navi Mumbai. It has been a great institution, South Indian Education Society. I thank all the IT guys who, in spite of their best attempts, they could not help me share the skill, but it's okay, it's part of life. We'll do that next time. And I thank each one of you, your non-teaching staff of the college, every parent on the show, every teacher. And so difficult to be a teacher in COVID times. I wrote a poem yesterday which I'm going to share with your principal, and she might share it with all of you for Teachers' Day. And I thank every student here. Ma kasam yaar, India is on the threshold of a great tomorrow, and you are the architects. I have faith in each one of you, just like I have faith in the Indian cricket team. Shardul and Rishabh Pant and Virat Kohli and everybody who played so well. As much as I have faith in all the entire para-Olympic team, their body language is different. As much as I have faith in our Olympic team, the body language of yours is so different. You are different. You are much smarter than what we were at your age. And I have complete faith in you, my dear children, my dear students. You are actually very, very awesome. But remember one thing. अपना मन की शांति के प्रति ध्यान दो, अपने मानसिक स्वास्थ्य के प्रति ध्यान दो, और यदि ब्रेकअप हुआ तो एक दूसरे को हेल्प करो. Stay alive, come what may. And if your friends come and tell you I've broken up, don't say I told you so. Say, hold my hand. I'll help you to come out of this. My dear students, remember, it's easy to get a boyfriend or a girlfriend. It's very difficult to get friends. Invest in friendship with this. Thank you all. Congratulations for being great students. I love you all. Take care.
Thank you so very much, sir. Your empathetic guidance has truly been very enlightening, empowering, and helpful to all of us students, and I'm sure to all the parents and teachers who have also joined us today. Sir, if you kindly agree, there are just a few questions that we have that our team has.
I can't see your face because the IT department has to remove that private chat window. I've been asking them to do it. I need to see you.
Yes, sir. There's just a small arrow that can be clicked to disable that.
कर दिया मैंने. कर दिया, सब कर दिया. कुछ नहीं हुआ. I clicked everywhere. कुछ नहीं हुआ. कुछ नहीं हुआ. Now it's done. Now it's done.
Okay, perfect. So, if you there's just a few questions and answers that our team has selected, and also a few from our YouTube audience as well. It'll just take a short time. So, if with your permission,
start.
All right.
No issues at all. Wow, students. So I need to see all three of them. Are lovely. What are your names, darling?
Good morning, sir. My name is Shreya.
श्रेया अय्यर, हा?
श्रेया कुलकर्णी.
श्रेया कुलकर्णी. बोला. आणि कोण तो मुलगा वरती स्मार्ट मुलगा दिसतो मला ते?
Good morning, sir. I'm Rachana Alwar.
ಹಾ, ದಾನಿಗೆ ರಸ್ತೆ ಎಂಚಲ್ಲ?
ಯಾರು ಹುಷಾರಿಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಇರ್ಬನ್ನಿ.
Ekdam fine land. Who's that lovely lady above Mr. Alva?
Thank you so much, sir. Myself, Payoja Mohan.
Hi, Farouza. Tell me, ask your questions.
Sir, shall I start?
Anybody can start.
Okay, so I am the youngest daughter in my family. ठीक है, तो there is a huge generation gap between me and my parents. So usually ऐसे होता है कि जब भी हमारा झगड़ा वगैरह होता है तो I try to keep my point of view in front of them, but they always think I'm disrespecting them. So how should I, try to put my point of view in front of them without, hurting their sentiments?
Very, very good question. Remember one thing: you are from an era of respect, and I am from an era of reverence. In era of reverence, we used to stand in front of our parents, and we were so scared that if they say something, our pants would get wet. But in your era of respect, you all stand like this with your parents, like this. We used to stand like this. It's perfectly all right. I mean, it's perfectly all right. So what you need to learn now is inclusive communication. And that is very important to help you. You know what? CEOs are not born in MBA schools. They're born in schools, colleges, and families. So inclusive communication is when you put across a point of view, but you hold your respect and say it with a lot of humility. At the same time, at your age, you don't expect humility. You expect the Shah Rukh Khan going against Amrish Puri, in that film. I forget the film. I think it was Devdas, Shah Rukh Khan, Amrish Puri.
Sir, DDLJ.
I said all that. So inclusive communication is, Daddy, I did not like the way you spoke to my aunt, and I think you should have been a little kinder. And I really did not like the way you did that. So in your communication, share feelings. I did not like the way you did that. Or say, for example, Mom, it's fine that you speak on the phone for too long a time, but the dal got burnt, and you could have actually spoken to your friend in the evening. I felt very upset at this. So when you add a feeling phrase into your communication, the acceptance is much better. That is one. Two is that you can't be. See, you are not a robot. You'll get angry sometimes. And if you express your anger very openly, I felt so angry when you did that upwas for 3 days, and it's not essential at all. Upwas करून corona जाणार नाही. तू जेव ना, मला राग येतो तू असं केल्यावर. Nothing wrong in that. So a lot of feeling phrases. And even if when you express feeling phrases, your parents might feel that you are disrespecting, because the software is different, but they learn slowly. They will learn slowly, because when you share feelings and when you share solutions, I feel that you should have had your food, Mom. You can't have this kadak upwas all the time. It would be nice if you had the food. I feel sad and angry when you do that. And we offer solutions. When it sinks down slowly, they understand that you are saying for the good of them. At the same time, at times, you guys at that point of time are moving from being a girl to a woman. So you have to oppose, you have to oppose, and which is how you an adolescent builds his own identity. So at times, sometimes, thoda uddatpanani bolla काय होणार नाही. But remember one thing, my dear friend, keep the engagement on. You might not agree with each other, but you still communicate with each other. Even if they are very angry and if they don't speak to you for one day, when you sit across and you are in silence, say probably having a meal or watching TV, remember silence is also communication. Communication happens through osmosis when you're silent. So humiliation and abuse is not allowed. Expressing anger is perfectly all right. Expressing feelings is perfectly all right. Expressing your difference are perfectly all right. So when you really learn how to express your differences, you will become a CEO. But if you only learn how to blast, you will become a manager. So you need to find out whether you want to become a CEO or a manager. That, I think, is so important. Thank you for that lovely question. And remember, when you're very angry at times, when you're very angry at times, you might blast, blow, you might insult, humiliate. So you do when you calm down, you go and say, "I'm sorry about it, but I actually meant this." So that is also important. Yes, sir.
Hello, sir. So my question to you is that I know many of my friends that was struggling. So, like, one of the question is like, how can you offer a support system to our friends who are suffering from anxiety at a time when we can't meet them often as we would like to meet them?
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. I think you can offer support. See, anxiety probably has reason or no reasons at all. Anxiety can be de novo. It just can start like that. And sometimes it can have a reason. If there's a if there's a reason, you cannot solve that reason because it may be a reason beyond your control. So offer solace and bring down the smoke and the fumes and offer solace, offer support. Offering solace and support is enough to really bring down anxiety. Now, the cause of that anxiety could be so many different things. It could be money in the family. It could be angry father. It could be a difficult mother. It could be a war in the family. At that point of time, you can't solve those problems. But when you offer solace and support, the person across will be able to find some answers within herself for the solution. But the anxiety is very high. It's a panic attack. It's a panic attack, and it's heart is racing faster. There's a lot of stuff happening inside the heart. What is very important at that point of time is to offer support, offer solace, but at the same time, to really ask her to do a little yoga, a little relaxation. Also, direct her to your friendly counselor in your college. Tell him or her that there's no shame in going and asking for help. And when you kill shame, you attain fame. When you kill shame, you get a name. And see that they go to somebody who can help him or her through medications or through counseling or through relaxation itself. Number four is that when somebody says, I'm upset and I'm anxious, please, if anybody talks about death or dying, if anybody says that I don't want to live, I want to run away, etc., see to it that immediately if it's your own college, your principal is alerted, your good teachers are alerted, you can actually take charge and talk to the parents, see to it that they are able to take help. Even if the person says you should, it's promise, don't tell anybody, I want to die. You have to break the promise and see to it that help is taken. And the question I think was from Divi. So everything will be Sugam and Sangadam will go away. PD will also go away and Desham will also go away. Thank you, Mr. Alva. Enchamata illade enchollere.
Pura ಹುಷಾರಿಲ್ಲ sir, pura ಹುಷಾರಿಲ್ಲ.
Husharule Racha. Okay. Yes. The lady. Thank you. The lady. Yes.
Hello, sir. So this will be the last question from our side. And the question that comes to my mind is, what impact does the removal of face-to-face human interaction have on small children who are deprived of in-person school activities because of the pandemic? Because for children, it is very important at that age to go out and learn the interaction from the external sources, I believe.
It's important for all of us, my dear friend Mushira Charfare. It's important for all of us. And in fact, I have not stopped a single day of my clinic for both the years. Okay, I've been so interaction and for little children, say preschool or school. See to it that if you can't allow them to interact, see that they play with water, play with grass, get wet in the rain if they're allowed to, and have mud all over their feet if you can. And what is so important is all parents should see to it that we don't want spick and span children. And spick and span children are very abnormal children. Everything clean, everything good, everything nice. All please put your feet down. Don't put your feet up on the sofa. Kaikore. So see that they play with a lot of water. See that they walk on the grass if they can. There's a patch of grass in your area. See that they run, shout, scream. Play with mud if they can. And if you're smart parents, you see to it that you organize a small get together with all the safety precautions and peer focus, doing, playing, etc. And that is very, very important. So lack of contact might cause isolation, might cause withdrawal, might cause mutism, might cause nightmares, might cause lack of appetite, and a lot of things. So continuous stimulation, physical and verbal, emotional and nature related, is important. In fact, I would tell all parents, if you have little kids, see to it that they water the plants, they give names to the plants, they have a lot of play with water, have bath very often. Thoda sardi hua to kuch nahi hota kya? ज़्यादा टेंशन लेने का नहीं. And at the same time, they also help you in the kitchen. And when I say help you in the kitchen, they don't use a knife, but they probably arrange all the vegetables in one place, and they probably sit in the, because kitchen is the most happiest place of 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 the family. There's a lot of interaction happening, and of course storytelling, and a lot of things should be done. But I'm sure that it can cause depression. See, lack of contact can cause depression for anybody. Solitude is a good place to visit, but a bad place to stay.
Thank you so very much, sir. Your empathetic answers and guidance have been truly helpful to and very impactful to all of us. So with
How's my
that, we
shirt?
come.
Good shirt? Is a nice shirt? Flowers and all.
Fantastic shirt, sir. Really, it brightened up the mood for the day.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, sir. And on behalf of SIS Nehru College of Arts, Science and Commerce, Aniket Foundation, I would now like to call upon the General Secretary of the Counseling Committee, Ms. Prapti Mhatre, who will be sharing a few words on how today's webinar has truly impacted us all.
Prapti Mhatre. Prapti is a psychologist?
No, sir. I'm a student.
Okay. Go ahead, Prapti, बोला. चांगलं बोललं की हां.
हो,
चांगलं
sir.
बोलायचं. हां.
हो, sir. Okay. Me, Prapti Mhatre, the General Secretary of the Counseling Committee of SIS College, Arts, Science and Commerce, feels extremely privileged to be given an opportunity to express our gratitude to Dr. Harish Shetty, who has taken his busy schedule to talk to us. He has given us an insight into various problems one might face during these trying times. This session has given us all various avenues that we can explore to overcome and cope with any kind of problems in our daily lives. Thank you so much, sir, on the behalf of all the students of SIS Nehru.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Is the picture अभी बाकी है क्या हो गया?
हो गया,
We're
sir.
almost done, sir. So I would
my
now
dear
like
friends, let me thank the principal of the college. Let me also thank Sunita Ambore from Aniket Foundation, all of you. And remember, apna time aayega. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I would just like to call upon the convener of the counseling committee, Dr. Priyadarshini Podar, and Ms. Sunita Ambore from Aniket Foundation to kindly deliver the vote of thanks.
You're all inside the college, you're all mute.
I'm sorry. Good morning, sir, and good morning, all the viewers. I'm really fortunate to have Sir amongst us. We have a counseling committee doing a little effort to break the stigma against this social stigma against these discussions of the mental issues freely. I believe it, sir, has really proved today such a frank conversation with our students. We also like to generate such kind of atmosphere where students can freely come up to us and discuss any kind of mental health related and can talk freely to us. And as I've told you, we are really glad sir has given us his valuable time. This for the second time I'm listening to sir, and every time we enjoy it like anything. I would also like to thank the management of SIS who has always been so supportive. Principal Madam or Register Sir, and the managing committee of this Aniket Foundation, who has provided us the opportunity to invite Sir. And Sir, we are really glad to have you amongst us, and I like that in future also we connect together and give such nice session to all these viewers. It's really a noble cause which Sir is serving to us. Thank you so much, Sir.
नमस्ते सर. और सर बहुत बड़ा एक काम करना था आपके साथ. आप हमेशा हमारे साथ होते हैं और ये आज सफल हो पाया, जबकि इतना सर व्यस्त थे आप भी, और ये 9:30 का टाइम. लेकिन मुझे आज ये सब एक्सेप्ट करते हुए बहुत खुशी हो रही है कि अनिकेत फाउंडेशन के साथ एक नई शुरुआत हुई है। कॉलेजेस में हमने आज प्रवेश किया है। अब तक हम स्कूल्स में जो है आपके साथ बातें होती रही हैं और बहुत पसंद आया है सभी को। सर, एक बात मुझे लगा कि जब सारी दुनिया खामोश होने को मजबूर हो गई थी, उस समय आपकी आवाज़ घनघनाते हुए घर तक पहुंच गई। अचानक आपने एक ऐसी आशा की ज्योति घर घर जगाया कि भाई अब साथ में हो परिवार, एक अच्छा मौका मिला है और अब सेलिब्रेट व्हाट यू हैव। इस तरीके की कितनी सारी बातें। भाई दुआ तो चाहिए लेकिन दवा भी चाहिए। आप डायबिटीज के लिए दवाई ले रहे हो तो थोड़ा मन का जो इम्बैलेंस हो गया उसके लिए भी दवाई ले लीजिए। इस तरीके की जो प्रार्थनाएं घर घर पहुंची, सिर्फ दवाई ही नहीं बल्कि साथ खाना पकाने में भी एक दवा है। ये सब सारी खुशियां हमारे आसपास थी, लेकिन इसको दिखाने का काम आपने किया, आपकी बातों ने किया, आपकी टीम ने किया है। सर, मैंने देखा है खुद हर हफ्ते आप एक एक कॉलेज में फेसबुक लाइव, यूट्यूब लाइव से पहुंच ही गए सबके पास। भले ही कहते हैं लोग कि काउंसलिंग बहुत मुश्किल से लोगों को मिलता है, लेकिन आप खुद उनके दरवाजे तक पहुंच गए। गवर्नमेंट बाद में आएगी, पहले आप सर पहुंच गए। हालांकि आपका बहुत बड़ा आग्रह है कि हमें जो है हेल्थ मिनिस्टर होना चाहिए, हमारे लिए मेंटल हेल्थ मिनिस्टर होना चाहिए। हम सब मिलकर इस दिशा में काम करेंगे। आज SIS की सारी टीम आपके सामने है, आपको सभी सुन रहे थे। कम से कम 250 लोग यहाँ जुड़े हुए थे और बाद में यूट्यूब लाइव पर सभी बार बार सुनेंगे सर। लेकिन जो बात हुई है आज वो बहुत महत्वपूर्ण हुई है और इसमें बहुत सारा काम हम लोग करेंगे सर। तो थैंक यू वेरी मच सर, बहुत बहुत आभार आपका। और लास्ट में
Thank you so much, ma'am. So now, with this, I would now like to call upon Nymphia Chatterjee to present a closing song for our webinar today to end it on a light note.
Hello, everyone. And firstly, as the managing committee head of counseling committee, I would like to thank sir for ornamenting his words so nicely so that we all were able to understand and interpret out of it. Thank you so much, sir. And yeah, here's my closing song. I hope you like it. Pa ga 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 pa dha dha, pa ga 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 ma ga sa. दिल है छोटा सा, छोटी सी आशा, मस्ती भरी मन की भोली सी आशा, चांद तारों को छूने की आशा, आसमानों में उड़ने की आशा। दिल है छोटा सा, छोटी सी आशा, मस्ती भरे मन की भोली सी आशा, चांद तारों को छूने की आशा, आसमानों में उड़ने की आशा। दिल है छोटा सा, छोटी सी आशा, मस्ती भरी मन की भोली सी आशा। ga ga pa dha dha, pa ga ga ma ga sa। महक जाऊं मैं आज तो ऐसे फूल बगिया में महके हो जैसे, बादलों की मैं ओढ़ूं चुनरिया, झूम जाऊं मैं बन के बावरिया अपनी चोटी में बांध लो दुनिया, दिल है छोटा सा, छोटी सी आशा, मस्ती भरे मन की भोली सी आशा, चांद तारों को छूने की आशा, आसमानों में उड़ने की आशा, दिल है छोटा सा, छोटी सी आशा, मस्ती भरी मन की भोली सी आशा. Thank you so much.